All right, I wanted to go over a trade that I just took just to show you why it's important to just like pay attention to price action. So this trade, I saw that we were clearly in an uptrend. We came up through VWAP, little rejection here at VWAP, continued our uptrend. And I saw this is the point where I got into a trade. So I saw this pullback, which is a very orderly pullback on declining volume. And this bar right here, as soon as it broke this high, I got in for a trade. And my trade was right here. My risk was at the bottom of this candle. And I was targeting a push above this area. I was anticipating a nice move up. And so this failed. This came back down to here and stopped me out. And then a few bars later, I see this bar, when it's forming, it came down to this area right where this move started. This previous up move started, and it put in a hammer candle, which was green. So it came down here and it looked just like this, but it was green and it didn't have this top wick. And so I tried another trade. And the reason why I did this is I thought price couldn't go here. We couldn't get any follow through. So it came back down and I thought it was going to retest this area. So this is the last prior up move. So there's a lot of buyers here. And so I thought buyers would defend in this same area, which they were starting to defend because they came up and they were moving price up after it came down to this area where buyers originally got in. So that was my thinking on that. And then I was going to target new highs, right? And so then this one failed. And so, okay, then I'm thinking, okay, clearly there's no follow through to the upside. I did have in the back of my mind, maybe we would retrace to VWAP. So then I got in for a trade at this point, and I put my stop right above this candle. This candle wasn't completely formed yet, but I got in at this area right at the break of this low of this candle, and then I targeted VWAP. And so I had these two trades. I cut this one a little early. I took a full loss on this one, and then this turned out to be a decent trade where I made all my money back plus some on these first two trades. So it's okay to like take a trade, take a loss. Maybe you take another loss, and then you're like, okay, clearly price isn't doing this, so you can take it the other direction if it makes sense. That's the big key. What you don't want to do, this is what you don't want to do, because this will just kill your account. You don't want to get into something like, let's say you see a sell-off and then you see like price kind of doing this. What you don't want to do is get in like in this area and say, oh, okay, I'm going to take a long, and then it slams down. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to go short, and then it goes up. And then you're like, I'm going to go long because it's starting to move up, and then it goes down. You don't want to do that in this situation, in this chop. The only reason I did this is because we were in a clear uptrend. We were above VWAP, and in the context of things, I thought we were going to hit like these highs over here, wherever this big move started, right here. I'll draw this on the chart here. So I was targeting above these highs. That's where we're going to go before we get like another rejection. Figured we get another move up, then we get another rejection, because it kind of goes into this same pattern here where it's like, you know, move up, pull back, move up, pull back, move up. We're just stair-stepping up. So that was my thought. And that's the thing that you want to be careful about. It's okay to take multiple trades once you're invalidated, because this, to me, this area right here was a clear area of support on this small structure here. So once I saw that price was not holding this structure here, and price broke below here, this point, this is also a very key point right here. Let me just put a little. So this is where buyers, on this last pullback, this is where buyers stepped in and really pushed price up. I mean, they pushed price up down here, right? It came down, it kind of retested this previous high right here. I mean, this is such a clean move. This is very textbook move where, you know, price got in here. But this is where, like, a mental trigger would be for a lot of traders is like, oh, this nice hammer candle, buyers are pushing price up. Okay, let's move price higher on the close of this candle, and they start moving up. So this is a natural area that buyers will defend in this area right here. And so that's what I was thinking. It's like, okay, we have clear support here. We have one, basically 2, 3, 4 candles that are supporting this level. And then we break below that level, wick back up, kind of like retesting this area. And then once we got this to the downside, especially this candle, when we have the top wick where sellers are pushing this price down. And if you notice, another thing that I noticed, and this is why it's important to pay attention to all aspects of price action, because there's little clues that will tell you what price is doing and what the tendency of it is. Because after this pullback, everything is very normal up until this point right here. Everything's very normal. We got great price action. This is a clear uptrend. This is the 10 EMA, this white line here. You can just see price just really respecting the 10 EMA, goes right through VWAP, and it's beautiful, right? And up until this point, it just wicked below the 10 EMA, and it's starting to go back up. And we have a nice clear point above us, an area of resistance. So it makes sense that price will go up to this area of resistance. However, price didn't do that. So from this point on, what do we see here that just like gives us the signal, right? So here we have a very defined pullback, an orderly pullback. On lower volume, we get a little bit of higher volume on this move up, but we just fail to follow through. So this is like a classic fail to follow through. We come up and we don't follow through. The next candle closes below the low of this candle. And the one thing that you can see here in these 3 candles that are starting to form is each one has a higher low. So starting from our failed follow through candle, we have a lower high. It's not a higher low, it's a lower high. So we have a lower high, lower high, lower high. And then this is where we take the trade down the VWAP, because that's what it's telling us. It's price action is telling us that we're not going higher, and every single candle that we start printing has a lower high. So the next logical area for it to target, price to target, would be VWAP right below. And what we also have, this is the 5-minute time frame, is we also have the 200 EMA right here, this red line, and we also have the 50 EMA right here. And look where price came down. Price came down and went through both the 200 and VWAP, and it wicks right below the 50 EMA. And this yellow line right here is a major level. This is a 50-day EMA, this yellow line here. That's why it's super important for you to have daily moving averages on your intraday chart. Look at how price just respects this areas. I'm kind of getting a little off topic here, but just look how it comes up, bounces off, retraces, comes right back down to this area. I mean, it's been doing that for the last like few days here. You can just see this yellow line. Price is just like respecting it. So it's super important to have that. So now what price is doing is we just came down here. Instead of bouncing off VWAP, we've got a major level right under VWAP. So I took my profit at VWAP. I didn't want it to bounce, but logically I probably should have taken half my position off here and then held it, targeting this bigger level down here. But I didn't, but I'm fine with it. I locked in profit here and I made profit overall on this like series of trades. So hopefully that helps somebody out.